Ghost Advice. It's not nearly as catchy as Zero Advice.
Yeah, it doesn't sound as good.
I can say that that's better. No more crazy echo.
Am I streaming?
I probably could. I think with the new update to XSplit, it finally is not ridiculous. With the new update.
Yes, I am streaming. Excellent. Okay.
Goose auto hosts me. Cool.
I do auto host you. That's why I don't stream the D&D stuff most of the time. Because yeah.
Oh, it's not looping. Okay. There we go. I've got the jukebox going. I'm looping it.
Looper?
Mother's looping it.
Yo, mother's looping it. Does this mean we all have to talk with 1920s gangster accents?
No, you can talk normal.
No. Nobody wants that from me.
I might need to have Tori draw a picture of my character.
I don't know. I just kind of found something. It's pretty stock photo-y, but it fits. So.
No, that's pretty much what I'm gonna have.
Okay, so has everybody got their names the way that they want them to be?
Yes. Yeah, I finally found a first name that I like.
Okay. So let's see.
Give me
Do I need to
just a
change anybody?
character photo in case we need it. Ooh, perfect, because my
I'll
guy's a
change this one to Charlie.
Oh, wait. I have to change my stuff in here.
How do I put the picture in again?
You hit edit at the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Save
Now it's now I want.
to desktop. Yes, that'll work. Alright, close that. Choose.
I actually want you folks at the top because I don't like you on the bottom anymore for some reason.
Save. There we go. That should be
Okay.
good enough.
With all good luck, we should not have to use a map this entire play session. just because I did not want to go through creating one for like the 2 or 3 rooms that we're going to be in.
So what did I miss with these Facebook pictures, by the way?
Oh, we were just talking about stuff.
Okay.
Silliness.
Stuff and things.
One of them's just a picture of Buddy.
I know. Well, you
was
and Buddy.
little. Well, yeah.
You were
So
little too, Cameron.
I was showing Eric how Buddy used to be small enough to sit on my shoulders. Now he's too fucking fat. He just looked at me when I yelled at him.
Fucking fat.
He's like laying on the floor, like all plopped out, and I said that, and he looked at me. What?
I like food.
I'm just checking the music because I want to make sure that it's like all the right atmosphere.
It's nice. I think if the volume could be turned down to a hair.
Really? Because I can't even hear it.
You turned yourself down a hair. You can adjust your own volume for what he. For
I have it up all the way.
I can hear it. That's why you need to use headphones, Chuck.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I
Just a
hate when I
nice-
don't have a good pair.
Get yourself a nice gaming headset. This one only cost me like 120, I think.
Yeah, I think mine was only like 80. I mean, mine are wired though, so.
These are Bluetooth and they're $45.
$45.
These are wireless. gaming.
$5. That would be fantastic.
What would you pay for LASIK eye surgery? $100? $200? $10,000? How about
Try
$10?
$12.
$12.
Dr.
Fully-
Lawrence Feinstein, fully certified, fully licensed, fully Jewish.
Jewish.
Come down to the Thunderdome on Sunday, and get your eyes lasered. Jewish.
Jewish.
So funny.
Jewish. I could go for some Jew eye surgery.
What distinguishes Jew eye surgery from regular eye surgery?
I have no idea.
Because the surgeon is Jewish. Duh.
Well, yeah, it's like
Okay.
what determines the difference between a Jewish circumcision and not Jewish circumcision?
One's done for religious purposes, the other one's done for religious purposes that are being passed off as medical purposes.
Fair.
So, first off, I've got to ask, how comfortable are we with getting close to the racial sentiment of the time?
I don't care.
I do not care.
Yeah.
You haven't seen one of the videos upcoming in our series yet.
Well, I will clarify, I do not intend to use any racial slurs, but people are going to react to race in the way that they would have in the 20s.
Well, that's cool.
It's fair.
Yeah.
That should not pop up for a couple of sessions, but it will happen further down the road.
Well, I mean, if we're trying to keep it true to setting,
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming my character as a journalist is fairly politically correct, so I'm okay. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, politically correct in the time is very different than politically correct now. Politically correct in that time was racist.
It's a sliding scale. Anyways, I wanted to make sure about that because it probably will come into play.
Oh, I am so offended.
Also, if you guys have put any thought into your ethnicity. Or religion.
My background and some of the things associated with my background, I'm gonna go ahead and assume I'm white.
Mm-hmm.
I was a Pinkerton. Yeah, my guy was probably white.
Okay, and
Well, you
religion?
potentially could have been like Italian.
I would say white, maybe with a little Italian.
Well, just
Or
because
not-
of like your background with rough and
A
tough,
little
I'm
Irish
sure.
family, but not
Like,
like
could have been.
straight off the boat.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
no, my guy,
so, like-
my guy's probably like third generation, like English Irish kind of thing.
See, I'm glad you guys went there because, yeah, white did not constitute Irish and Italian at the time.
Yeah.
So that does kind of,
They
yeah.
were somewhat still. They were still definitely somewhat second class.
My father was from New York. My mother, Maryland.
Okay, so with that out of the way, I think the best way to start this off is to sort of roleplay what you would be doing on an average day. So we can start off. We'll start off with Chuck because his is going to be he's going to have to come into play a little bit later.
Yep. Average day for me, if I don't have a job to do, meaning I don't have somebody to rough up, I'd be sitting in the, what did I say, the Owl Club, the Owl Bar, the speakeasy that is below my residence, and I would just be waiting for a client to come in, taking in the atmosphere, just bottle of water, glass of water in front of me, listening to the music, and yeah.
And we're kind of assuming that you, like, in general, are supplied in this establishment due to, like, kind of acting as a bouncer.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a mix of bouncer. I help fund it to a degree. I have a little bit of wealth that, some of it goes into keeping this place open so that I have a place to work. I should add that into my assets.
I've got a little bit of wealth, says the
Yeah.
richest guy in the game.
And the only guy without a steady job.
Yeah, way more
Well,
money
I'm
than
working-
us.
My work is pretty steady. It's just not,
Well, yeah, you're a freelancer though, so it's not a steady job. It's a freelance sort of thing.
I mean, I'm a private eye, so mine kind of is too. But I can always potentially help the police out on cases and things. So
Yeah, you can help ease the caseload.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll end up having to come back to you in a bit because when we actually start with the action, you did not receive the letter that the other two players got. So
and $10 a week on just the bar, keeping the speakeasy open.
so yeah, we could basically say that you like have shares in the bar, and so you're actually like getting paid by the bar as like a finance sort of thing. That justifies why you would have more money than the other guys.
Yeah.
So then we'll move on to Nick. Nick, what would be your average day?
I do have a steady job at the newspaper.
The Washington
Whatever,
Gazette.
basically.
We can straight up say it's like the Washington Post or something. We can
okay.
use whatever we want.
Basically, I'll have a steady job at the Washington Post, but my contract doesn't deny me from working freelance. So if I have time, and as long as it's not affecting my work, I freelance for tabloids. So generally, I have a small office space in town. I don't really use it other than for people to drop things off for me to check on. I do most of my writing from home.
So what's your current beat? What do they typically assign you to? Are you like op-ed or are you politics?
Generally politics.
Okay. So you end up spending a lot of time on the Hill and sort of getting in congressmen's faces and that kind of thing.
Yes, which ties into me making sure I have enough, I have clothes to crash a political party every now and again.
Right. Okay, so on your typical day, you'd be either in your office writing up your report, or you'd be out on the Hill.
Yeah, I'll usually spend, about it.
All right, and where did we decided you lived somewhere in like Georgetown?
Yes.
So you end up driving to the Hill or something like that, because you were the one who you bought the car, right? Or did you have the bike? Oh yeah, you had the bike.
I have the car.
Okay. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that you would normally be doing. So then we can move on to Cameron. Cameron, what would your typical day be?
Depends on whether or not I have a case, although I would assume most often I have something I'm working on. So in that case, I'm going to be out prowling about, trying to find if there's a scene. I'm going to probably be investigating that. Otherwise, I'm going to be tailing suspects. And if it's a slow day and there's not anything going on, there's a good chance I'm probably drinking in my office.
All right, and where exactly is your office? If you could point to it on this map.
I would assume I'd probably be somewhat mid to inner city. Do you really care roughly at all, or?
I don't care about accuracy. Just it can't be the White House or the Capitol or Washington Monument.
Darn it. It's probably somewhere kind of over in here.
Okay, yeah, that's a reasonable spot for an office to be.
Yeah, New York Avenue, New Jersey Avenue, somewhere in that kind of block area there. There's probably a few office buildings and things, and it's probably actually a pretty nice office because it's me and my partner share it, and then we probably have a secretary too.
I'm gonna go ahead and mark that down so that we can remember that, because that is one of your places to return to. So
yeah, so a nice general location for it.
We'll say, like roughly about here.
That works. Yep.
Okay. So you guys are all going about your typical day when Nick and Cameron, who are playing, I forgot to get names memorized.
I'm Charles.
Charlie and Owen. So Charlie and Owen are going to receive this letter from the Secret Service. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and read it out. Due to your unique skills, your presence has been requested for a meeting tomorrow at Georgetown University in the Anthropology Department offices, signed by Walter Erickson, agent of the Secret Service. Now, you'll notice I went with the Secret Service because they actually would have the jurisdiction over things like missing persons.
Yeah.
The other one would have been like FBI, but it was actually called the Bureau of Investigations at the time. I read into it because I had to.
Yeah. Just to try and maintain as much accuracy as possible.
Yeah. This is about where the accuracy is probably going to end today.
What? You're saying we're playing a game called Call of Cthulhu and it's not going to be 100% historically accurate?
Exactly. So, yeah, you guys have the better part of a day to figure out sort of, how you're going to handle this one. Because the meeting is set for noon tomorrow. I didn't specify that, but we'll just say it's noon tomorrow.
Noon tomorrow, eh?
Yep.
Well, I'll let the other guys decide what they want to be doing first. I'm looking for something. Oh, and not finding it. Okay, oh well.
Okay, so Nick, do you have anything that you're planning on doing? You got your
Nick,
mic
we can't
up.
hear you. You gotta put your mic back down, bro.
Don't worry about it.
Now we completely
literally
lost
am
track
done,
of what he was
really is.
saying.
I'm really bad. I do it in Overwatch too. Like I'll just be playing and be like, oh shit, nobody can hear me. I'm assuming at my tabloid jobs, things just show up at my office with tips and hints and stuff. So I'm just kind of in for the ride.
Okay.
Oh, something interesting to write about.
And then Chuck, what are you doing for the day?
For the day,
Yep.
It all depends on if I get a client or not. If I don't get a client, then I'm just gonna make sure that the speakeasy runs clean and smooth. That there's nobody in who might be an undercover cop. And be a sourpuss in the corner of the bar with my glass of water that barmaid just keeps filling with water.
All right. So give me a second here. You have a fairly decent psychology skill, right?
Psychology is at 45 right now.
Okay, so fairly decent. I'd like you to roll a psychology roll, and you can do that by clicking the green one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
you never explained to us exactly what this box means.
I have no
And
idea.
that's exactly why I'm having him do a roll that is completely inconsequential right now. So basically, what happens is you roll a D100, and the three numbers there, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I don't know what the three numbers are. The first one is the only one that matters. Oh, wait, no. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're... Okay, anyway, the roll 91, you're rolling a D100 to see if you get a score that is lower than your skill level. If you roll lower than your skill level, it's a success. And if you roll higher than your skill level, it's a failure.
So I failed big time.
Yeah, you didn't get a critical fail, which would have been a 95 or higher. But since, of course, this roll was completely inconsequential, there would have been no consequence.
Good to know.
Also, I was reading something today. If you roll under your skill and you roll 1/5 of what your total skill is, isn't that like a special success or something?
Yeah, it can be like an extra success. It depends on the situation whether or not it like actually means anything.
That's what the third number is. The first number is what my skill
Oh, that's
level.
right.
The middle is
Yeah.
half of that, and then the third is a fifth of that.
Ah, yep.
That's what I get for not doing math.
That's cool though. That's good. That helps us see what that
Yeah.
is to be at a
if
glance
you
understand that.
if you do the white one next to a roll, and I'll just go ahead and do that for an example. Oh yeah. So right here, you actually rolled a success on everything. So the +2 means like if it's a extremely difficult, I believe, or something like that. Let's see. Actually, I don't remember exactly what this mechanic is, which is why we're only going to use the green ones
Yeah.
for today.
This is just 3 straight D100s, and then there's this +2, -2. It looks like standard deviation.
Oh, I think this is an opposed roll. I think the 24 is what you're rolling against. Maybe? I don't know. But there's a bonus dice system where if you, when you're making a roll, you get to roll a second D100, and you either get like you roll a second D10 for the tens value. And if it's a bonus roll, you get to take the higher of the two, and if it's a disadvantage roll, you get to take the lower of the two. But the singles die doesn't really matter. Anyways, it's, plain and simple, the biggest one is when you're rolling a D100, you're trying to get a lower score than your skill level. So that's like the primary mechanic that we're going to be concerned with today.
So they kind of took the rift system almost.
I assume so. I assume that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, that's kind of how it runs.
Okay. So yeah, when you failed that psychology roll, that just means that you aren't, you don't see anything in particular is happening.
Okay.
Like nothing is standing out to you.
So there could be a secret. There could be a undercover cop. I'm just not aware of it.
Exactly. You don't see anybody. You don't see anybody acting out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Okay. So then night is going to fall. So where do you guys return to when night falls?
Mikasa?
I go to my office. My apartment, which is probably just a couple blocks away. I probably haven't been there in like weeks. I still do go there sometimes if I don't want to be disturbed or something, but I usually sleep in the office just because that's who I am.
I'm gonna be outside the Owl Bar entrance. It's a standard looking apartment building with a basement to it.
It's a basement.
The basement goes to kind of a basic laundry area, but then if you know which two laundry machines to go in between, there's a passageway to the Owl Bar.
Okay, and just for the sake of marking it on the map, where would you say the Owl Bar is?
Take a look.
Right here. No, I'm just kidding.
Same rules apply. It can't be the president's house or the any of the national monuments.
This one right.
I'm gonna go with probably be a little out of the way, so it's not the most, famous intersections or anything. We're gonna say right here.
Okay. Can you do that again so that I can mark it?
Yep.
Not on any major roads, he says. He puts it a block away from Rhode Island and Vermont Avenue.
Yeah, well, everything kind of around there. I was initially going to put it, like, here, and then I realized that would probably be a mistake.
I need to fix my mouse scroll at some point because it always scrolls way too far to the left or right. Okay. And Nick, where's your house in Georgetown?
Georgetown's over in what sector?
It's west.
Or is it all the way in
It's the pink one.
Oh, all the way over here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll say that it's like somewhere.
Well, I was guessing somewhere like right in the middle here, somewhere.
Oh, okay. I'll delete that because it's the wrong color.
Well, I should change my color. That's okay.
What color are you going to use? Gray?
Gray. If I can actually make this like work. Nice.
So like you said somewhere around like here?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. It's not going to be too important. It's just good to have like a little bit of spatial reference.
Yep.
Okay. So this is pretty much what you're setting down to do for the night is you're doing the things that you said you were going to do. And then morning's going to hit.
And then dawn broke.
Yep. So morning, if you went to sleep, then you're waking up. If you didn't go to sleep, then you might be going to sleep now.
If you didn't go to sleep, then you're really, really drunk still.
See if I slept or not. I'm tired.
And probably hungover. Or still drunk.
Probably still buzzing a little bit.
Okay, so like now would be your last chance to go to sleep before, to have enough time to wake up for your meeting.
Nope. I probably snoozed a tiny bit, like I fell asleep at my desk, but didn't actually get like a full sleep is what I'm getting at, so I probably did fall asleep for a couple hours or something, but.
Okay, so Nick, what are you doing in this morning?
The headset.
I know.
Just leave it down.
No, I don't want to chew in everyone's ears.
We don't care.
We really don't care.
What do you think I'm gonna be doing the whole night?
Assuming I'm up at 5 or 6 every morning, just because I can be. I'll make my way to my office to see what's going on before I head to this meeting. So I'll just head to my office and then kind of chill out there and figure out what I'm doing for the rest of the day after this meeting.
Okay. And Chuck, are you getting any sleep?
I would have gone to bed about 3 o'clock, so I'm gonna sleep till noon-ish.
Okay. So noon is going to hit now, and you guys can sort of decide what you're gonna do.
Well, I guess I gotta get to this meeting, and my secretary's probably like saying, "Hey, you gotta leave now if you want to get." She probably knocked on the door and says like, "Hey, you have a meeting at noon or whatever." Cause she probably is the one that gave me the letter, and then I'm kind of like sitting there like I probably snoozed again a little bit at the desk, maybe gone through some paperwork and stuff, and I'll head out and find a bus or a town car or whatever to take me down to Georgetown.
Okay, and you said you had a secretary now.
Yeah, I added her in. Her name's Margaret.
Okay, you do have her name written because I would have asked that.
Yep. No, I was like, no, it would make sense that if we were actually operating a firm with 2 different detectives that are not going to be there at the offices all the time for people to find us, we would probably have a secretary so that she can give people information, make appointments, stuff like that. So, although she probably mostly deals with my partner, so he's probably the one that pays her, because she probably is mostly his secretary and just kind of helps me out a little bit with the forwarding of mail and clients, but not really doing my paperwork for me.
Okay, so you said you were headed there. How?
Bus or trolley or whatever is available.
Okay.
I think they had both in DC at this time. So.
Yeah, and if they didn't, we're just gonna say they did, because it's pretty loose.
Yep.
And Nick, how are you? What are you doing?
The bus.
You're taking the bus?
Okay, where are we going exactly? Like, I'm at my office, and my office is way the hell down here.
Okay, Georgetown University is over in Georgetown all the way to the, it's basically off the map to the west.
Okay, assuming I went to my office and then went back home, because I knew I was going to Georgetown.
Yeah.
I'll just take my bike from my house.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so...
I'm gonna be and ask how to change my color again, because I don't remember.
Good question. How do we change it? You click on your color by your name,
Mm-hmm.
and then there should be like a little pop-up that appears above you.
Hey, look at that.
It doesn't pop up.
Huh.
Cool beans.
Just leave it green. It's not a.
Yeah, it might just be my internet. It's fine. I'll change it later.
No, mine doesn't let me do it either.
Mine did. I'm blue now.
I'm blue. Da-ba-dee-da-ba-da.
I don't know if that's a setting that I'm supposed to change for you guys.
I don't know if
I
that
don't think
song
so.
existed in 1927.
I don't think the entirety of the band, the Eiffel Tower, existed. The Eiffel whatever.
Eiffel
95.
65. Come on, man. You don't know one of the best bands in the 90s?
Okay, so you guys arrive at Georgetown University, and you make your way to the anthropology department. And of course, Georgetown at this time, it's a very typical school. It's got the ivy walls and everything like that. And you're kind of looking around in the courtyard, and it's very green. It's summertime, so it's very much like it is now, except it was in the 20s, so, air was a lot cleaner.
Not around
Racism.
me. Not around me. There's a cloud of smoke around me. I'm smoking a cigarette.
Okay. And they're not going to tell you to put that out because it's the 20s and you can smoke in the
20s.
university. So, you'll make your way to the anthropology department, and you'll be met at the door to the anthropology department by the Secret Service agent, Walter Erickson. He's dressed in a dark blue suit, and he's a very average-looking guy with the clean-cut sort of appearance, and he gives you guys a firm handshake, and he says, "Okay, if you guys will come with me, there's a matter that needs addressed. We have a missing person, and we think that you guys are the only ones who would be able to find him." And so he leads you into the back of the office area, and there's like a conference room, like sturdy wood desks, a sturdy wood desk in the middle, a rotary phone, the candlestick type, because that's what they had, and dim lighting. You notice that it's a little bit dim, rather than your eyes are taking a little bit to adjust. And so when you finally are able to see everything clearly in the room, you notice that there is another person sitting down at the end of the table. And Walter, the Secret Service agent, introduces you to Martin Bailey, who's wearing, he's like a stout-looking guy, and he's wearing kind of a ratty gray suit, and he's got a mustache, and he speaks with a British accent. So imagine that everything that's coming out of his mouth is in a British accent.
Imagine.
So, gentlemen, have a seat at the table.
Gentlemen, have a seat at the table, please.
Exactly.
I'll sit down. Sure.
Oh, of course. Sit down.
Okay.
I'm also probably, as I sit down, going to be like, "So you going to tell me what this is all about?"
Okay.
I take a long draw on my cigarette.
The Secret Service agent unbuttons his suit and takes a seat at the other end of the table. There's kind of like a lot of distance between you and Martin, the British guy, because you kind of sat down on the other end. So uncomfortably, Walter has sat down directly between you two.
Told me to sit down, so I sat down.
Yeah. You watch him pull out a suitcase and open it up, and then he pulls out a manila folder with photos and sort of a dossier detailing a guy whose name is Jersey Williams.
Yeah.
He is an anthropologist. It says in the dossier, you can see he's an anthropologist. In the picture, he's wearing sort of like traveling clothes, like a leather jacket, and just sort of earth tones. And he looks like he's seen quite a bit of action. He seems like a very energetic sort of guy. And you see in his file that he deals in antiquities, and he is a professor at this college. So the Secret Service guy gives you a moment to look over the dossier.
I don't know if can I use my spot hidden skill to see if I notice anything out of the ordinary, or should I use a different skill for that in the images and stuff?
In the images, all the skills are completely different, so I have to make sure that I'm doing one that's appropriate.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking if spot hidden would work, or if there's something else that you would prefer me to
Yeah, go ahead and do spot hidden.
Sweet.
That is a hard success. So yeah, you notice
yeah.
he has a scar on his chin, and you also notice a bullwhip on his side.
Did you just make Indiana Jones?
It is, and in fact, the first clue was in his name. Jersey Williams.
Yeah.
Jersey Williams.
We named the dog Indiana. You were named after a dog? Sorry.
So, Martin
Monkey Jack.
Martin gestures to the Secret Service agent, and he does one of these right there. And so the Secret Service agent sort of clears his throat and says, for his safe return, the United States government is willing to offer a reward of $150,000.
I'm actually gonna whistle.
I'm just gonna like. He must be really important. What's this guy's name again?
Martin.
Martin. Last name?
Bailey.
Bailey.
So I'm gonna reference Martin. And so why have we decided to boycott the police on such an excursion?
What interpersonal skill did you specialize in?
Which I don't remember which ones they were.
Intimidate, fast talk.
Charm.
Okay. So explain how you're going to ask that question in a charming fashion.
In a charming fashion, I'm gonna say, as much as us fine gentlemen are plenty capable of finding what you need, why is it that the police have not been informed?
Okay, so go ahead and roll that charm.
Screw you, Walter.
When my colleague went missing, he was on a mission to track down an artifact of great importance that, if it were to fall into the wrong hands, it could spell disaster for Western civilization as we know it. He spills his guts on this one because of how charming you were.
It may or may not be the Ark of the Covenant, except that didn't happen until the 30s.
Don't worry about it. There's no continuity here.
That's okay.
Nope.
Monty's going after it. It's someone else.
This isn't Indiana Jones. It's Jersey Williams.
Jersey.
Okay. So it's
So it's the curve of the.
No, it's the box of the good promise.
Okay. Well, I mean,
No. Okay.
I don't really have anything to say to that. I suppose it's just
I'm just gonna look at what's your character's name, Goose?
Owen.
Owen. I'm just gonna look at Owen and be like, "Come on, Owen. You should know. Even the government doesn't trust the police."
Walter does hear that, and he sort of just kind of nods.
I'm just gonna take a long, knowing drag on my cigarette.
He's going to continue and say, if the police were to find out about the artifact that Jersey was looking for, then there's a very good chance that certain elements would overhear, and those are exactly the type of elements that we're trying to keep this out of the hands of.
Might I ask you one more question, kind sir?
Go ahead.
Where did you find me?
Well,
I just write for the newspaper. What am I gonna do to help you?
In the yellow pages, he let his fingers do the walking.
let me check your backstory because I'm pretty sure there was something in there.
The tabloids,
I don't
probably.
think I actually wrote a straight out backstory.
No, but in your character details.
Oh yeah.
Cultists stole my grandma. Tabloid, written by Owen Corning's fiberglass insulation.
Okay, I'm gonna have you roll another charm just to see if you'll get this out of them.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh, you're gonna love our fake trees.
It's not as good as last time.
Some of your articles that have more outlandish premises seem to be much more accurate than you would expect of someone who does not have the experience with the sorts of things we deal with.
Ah.
So, due to that, we assume that you likely have a knack for dealing with these sort of things.
Sure. Sounds fun.
Knick-knack, paddywhack.
It might have been when I thought the Pope was a lizard man.
The lizard men are going to take all of our jobs and turn us into slaves.
No, the Pope is Man Bear Pig. Don't worry about it.
Alright, so Walter, the Secret Service agent, is going to stand up and shake your hands now that you've made a deal. He's going to offer his hand out to you guys.
Am I allowed to take this dossier with me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So are you guys going to shake his hand?
Yeah, I'll shake his hand. I'll shake
yeah,
his hand.
yeah,
Sorry, I was asking
absolutely.
that kind of out of context.
Okay. And then he's going to sort of nod to Martin and say, you can take it from here. Let these gentlemen know everything they need to know. And then he walks out the door.
Okay. So now it's just us and Martin.
Yep. So now it's you and Martin. And Martin is going to put his hand in his pocket, and he's going to remove a key from it and slide it across the table. This is the key to Jersey Williams' office. I I don't know exactly what he was doing with the Secret Service, but if you were to find any clues, you'd be able to start there.
Okay. As a side note, just so in case, and so I have possibly something else to go on. Where and when was he last seen that you know of?
The last time that he contacted us was via telegram about 2 weeks ago. And it's pretty normal for him to go for about a week or so without contacting us. But 2 weeks is a little bit much.
Where was this telegram sent from?
It was sent from DC.
Sent from the DC area. Okay.
Yeah, it was sent from the DC office.
So he was actually just right in the local area when he sent that.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
well,
2 weeks ago, we can be sure that he was here.
he was here 2 weeks ago. At least.
So,
But then he just kind of took off.
are we allowed to know what sort of object we might be getting involved with?
Presently, actually, no. Martin wouldn't know. Martin only knows that the Secret Service was had contacted him
To find a setup.
to find an object.
It's the sacred box of the good promise.
Okay. The sacred box of the good promise.
I don't know exactly what he was looking for, but I have every assurance that he would have been doing some sort of research in his office.
All right.
Sounds
I
good.
don't think there's anything else I need, but giving us access to the office and knowing that he sent a telegram, I mean, that's pretty good to go on to start with, at least. All right. I'm gonna put my cigarette out in the ashtray that I'm assuming was on the table because of course
Absolutely.
it's gonna be the ashtray on the table.
Because
And
welcome to the
and stand up and say, "All right, I guess I'll check out the office." Try to
Okay.
get more gruffness in my voice.
And
office we go.
the portly British gentleman sort of waddles behind you. I suppose that's a bit mean. He's not that bad. But anyways, yeah, he's going to kind of follow behind you because he is also showing a little bit of concern. Like, you could possibly glean something.
Yeah, do I see? Never mind. I don't detect anything out of the ordinary, I guess.
Let somebody. Oh, holy shit! Well, I don't see Jack
Critical
either.
fail. Not that it really matters with the psychology check so much, but still.
Ugh.
My psychology isn't very high.
I have an 85 in that.
I
skill.
probably should have put more into that skill, but
Well, I mean, I have an 85 and I still failed.
yeah,
So
72 might not have been enough. Anyways, I'll put more points into like tracking and things like that.
he's got a nice suit.
Yeah,
I like
you
his
don't
mustache.
you don't quite notice at first. So perhaps later you'll be able to notice. But yeah, you guys are walking to his office, and you see that the key actually has his office number, emblazoned on it.
And it's which number?
201.
The fact that you had to just decide offhand, I was in case you already had it decided, then I would know it was an important detail. Okay. All right. Well, I will enter the office and turn on the light. Click.
Okay, and it's one of those pull chain lights in the middle of the room. So yeah, you do have to grope around a little bit, but you do find it. It's the same as the one that was in the office, so it's still kind of dim. It's not exactly like pure light, but you do see, he's got a standard academic sort of desk. He's got a lot of trinkets around, and you do see on his desk an array of papers and one notebook.
I will. First thing I'll do is notice the desk, see the stuff. I'll pick up the notebook and start sifting through it.
I'm going to look around through like the other things, like the artifacts on the shelves and whatnot, and see if I see anything of interest or out of the ordinary.
Okay, so not only do you see that many of the artifacts that are in one particular area are sort of they have runic inscriptions, and they also like are kind of Germanic. But there's also a map on the wall with some various pins placed into them. There's a pin marking DC, a pin marking New York, and a pin. There's a pin in Germany, a pin in Morocco, and a pin in Algeria.
Okay.
I'm gonna take note of that and write that all down in my little notebook, just so that because that might be important.
Handy dandy notebook.
I don't have a camera because I decided not to take photography skill. I maybe should. Because then I could have taken...
Surprise! I did.
Do you have a camera?
Assuming so.
Did you buy a camera? Then you don't have a camera.
You also did not specify that you were bringing a camera, so I would have been
no,
like.
No, I know.
The only stuff I have with me is the stuff that I always have in my jacket, you know. So.
At some point, you could go back to your house and discover that you do have a camera because it would fit your profession to have one.
Yeah.
And it would likely be something that was provided by your job.
And yeah, worst case, yeah, you could get one from your offices if
yeah. So, you know, but since it was not...
I do not have one on hand.
Yeah. And, you know, you could be reasonably sure that the office is probably not going to be touched at this point. It's a fairly secure...
If it's just a standard world map, there's not really any... If I write down what the spots are marked, that's more than enough in that case. So, which I did. So
now we can address the notebook, and you open up the notebook, and you see a list of roll a straight up education check.
Straight up education, hard success.
Okay, you see that there's a series of call numbers for books, and it's written in the Library of Congress format.
I have library use really high skill.
So don't I.
You don't?
No, I said so do I.
Oh, you said so don't I, and I was like, what?
I mean, it's relatively high. It's not like super high. But...
All right. Are you going to actually list these all off for us, or do we...
I have, assuming as a journalist I have a pad of paper or something, I can just...
That I'll give you, yeah. We're going to assume that you guys are keeping paper during the investigation phase.
Oh, no, I specified that I have a pad and paper on me at all times in my equipment.
I'll hand wave it that yes, you absolutely would have had this because this is something that you would have prepared for.
Journalism!
Okay.
Okay, so
I'll jot all those down.
Yeah, the call numbers don't have actual titles of books, but you can be reasonably certain that these are all books that are present in the Library of Congress because they are in that format.
Okay.
I will also say that there is a library on campus that may use the same format, but you have no idea of that, if they do or not. But you would know of the library on campus.
Could I potentially know that information with a library use check?
Yes, you would. If you got a success on the library use check, we can say that you would be reasonably certain whether or not this library uses the same format.
Nope.
Okay, so you have no idea whether or not they use the same format.
Wait a second. Do I know? Nope.
Nope.
Neither of us went to college at Georgetown.
Nope. Neither of you have
I
experience
go to
with.
college, what are you talking about?
I don't think I did
Okay.
either.
Family
Where
didn't have
did-
money for a fancy education.
There is
I thought
actually
before.
an index in here of books, and I didn't write down which books may or may not be present at the library. So I need to get to that page so
An
I can flag it.
in-depth anthology of the Karma Sutra.
Ooh. I'm going to investigate the other papers beyond the notebook, but I'll roll for that. But obviously, you can look your stuff up first. It's no rush.
Yeah, I'll. Okay, so you see references to a Horn of Jericho. It doesn't specify what the Horn of Jericho is or where it could be found, but you can see that that is like a running thread in several of his notes.
It's often mentioned.
Okay, I
I
have
wonder
just
if my
about
character
found it.
has as much knowledge of the Bible as I do, because the Horn of Jericho will be referencing the horn that was blown to destroy the walls of Jericho, more than likely. But my character's not religious, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna see if you guys do another hot spot hidden roll.
Both of us? Or...
Well, you got a success, so oh, what else was it
It's like-
that you found?
It's like one of my best skills.
Yeah.
do I have anything above 80? I don't think I do.
have
Yeah, I
one-
do.
I have
one.
one thing above 80. Nope. No, I've maxed out at 80 on my good skills.
I have one thing at 85.
You're drawn to the trash can, which has a couple of crumpled up papers.
Okay, I'll obviously look at those then.
Okay, you pull one out, and it has a list of phone numbers.
Ooh, phone numbers.
Assuming after he pulls in and pulls one piece of paper out, I'll grab another and pull it out.
Okay, the only thing of consequence in there was a list of phone numbers.
Oh, okay. Well, the rest of it is
Are you actually
dinner
gonna give me?
plans.
Are you actually gonna give me the call numbers for the books, or should I just write down that I have a list of call numbers?
Just write down that you have the list of call numbers because we'll deal with that shortly.
All right.
I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to switch over to Chuck.
Okay.
Okay, so Chuck, it is now like 1 o'clock,
Okay.
and I want you to do like some sort of investigation roll. It can be spot hidden, it can be psychology.
Oh boy, both are pretty much the same. That's psychology.
Okay,
Oh, so close.
go ahead and do the other one then.
I'm rolling terrible.
You know, for
now.
somebody who spends a lot of time in this bar looking for customers and fake cops, he's really bad at it.
Seriously.
Okay, now a fail doesn't always mean that the positive outcome doesn't happen. Sometimes it just means that it's a little bit less convenient. And in this result, the less convenient outcome is that you do notice a cop, and he's starting to cause some problems.
Oh boy. All right. Glad I got that up to 50. So, I'm just gonna walk over to him. And is he talking? Like, what's he doing?
Basically, he's gone up to the bartender, and he's asking for a bribe.
All right.
Corrupt cops.
I'm
In
going
DC,
to
no.
walk up to him and just say, "Excuse me, sir.
What do you
seem
want?
out of place.
Out of place?
Anything I can do for you?"
He flashes his badge and he says, "Look, I work this street, and every other bar on the street, every other speakeasy on the street is giving me the same cut, and you guys aren't holding up your share. It's $20, and I'm out of your hair for the month.
Do I recognize him? Is this a cop that's been around for a while, or is this a new guy? What would I roll to know that?
That would be. Let me check. That'd be a straight up intelligence.
All right.
Okay.
Roll the 2.
Rolled a 2.
Yeah, this guy you've never seen before, and his badge looks a little suspect.
Okay. Sir? I didn't catch your name. Officer
Johnson.
Oh, Shaughnessy. Oh.
Johnson. Officer Johnson. I've
Smith.
I've lived on this street for the last 15 years, and I don't recall your face ever.
What's your interpersonal role?
Fast talking.
Okay, roll me that. You can see that he's getting really nervous with this line of questioning, and he's kind of stammering.
I am going to give him one solid good punch to the gut.
Okay, roll strength.
Strength or fighting brawl?
That works too.
Because
Hard success.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he
even 90 in that.
yeah,
He
I have
keels-
a 90 in that.
He keels over, and you see a gun fall out of his coat. And then he's gonna kind of like act winded for a moment. So you've got to turn if you want to do something.
I'm gonna pick up the gun and just empty it and hand it back to him.
Okay. Yeah. So you do that, and he kind of catches his breath and just in fear bolts to the door.
Did he take the gun or did he just leave it?
He grabbed the gun that's now empty,
Okay.
and he just bolted.
I'm going to order a water and sit down and just keep an eye on the door.
Okay, so investigators.
I'm going to kind of tuck my hand on my hidden 45 that I have, and just in case somebody decides to burst through.
Okay. Yeah, you wait for a moment, and nothing else happens. Roll a psychology.
That's been going well today.
Yeah. Let's see. You rolled a 77. Yeah, you don't see anything out of the ordinary, and after about 5-10 minutes, you feel pretty confident that that was the end of it.
Okay.
And then we're gonna switch back over to our investigators. Where do you choose to go?
I mean, neither of us are smart enough. Well, okay, neither of us know that the library here uses that, but that doesn't mean we don't understand that there's a library here and that he does work here.
Exactly. Which is why I brought it up, because there are several libraries in the DC area.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I'm very assuming by my late wife, I'm fairly familiar with the Library of Congress,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that they use that system. So,
exactly.
My assumption is that I would recommend we split up. He check the library here, and I'll go straight to the Library of Congress.
Well, if you're gonna actually check, if you're gonna head to the Library of Congress, we're pretty confident that we'll find these books there.
Well, I'm
I think I'll
confident that I know
investigate.
that he'll
Yeah.
that they use this system, not necessarily
Yeah,
that the books that he's
well,
looking for are there.
But maybe I should investigate the phone numbers.
Oh, that too. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna trying to figure out what I don't want to just like start calling them all. Obviously.
No, that's fine. Well, I guess if you're checking phone numbers, I'll check the library here before I leave, knowing that he works here, obviously.
I'm going to go to my. I'm gonna head back to my office to see if my partner's there, to see if he can get one of his police buddies to check these numbers for me.
Okay.
And I'm headed to the library to check out some of these call numbers.
All right. So we'll go ahead to the library first because that's closest in proximity.
Yep.
And of the 5 call numbers that you see, you do notice that they are using the same system as the Library of Congress, but you only find one of those books, and it is a encyclopedia volume, and it deals with. It does deal with the biblical story of like the biblical narrative of Jericho.
Okay.
But the other books are not present.
Not present. Would they have record of where those books are at this point? I don't know if libraries would keep those records anymore. At this point in time.
Yeah, they would have a record of people who were checking out books.
Yeah, they do. They do have a one of those sheets in the back of each book that shows who checked out each book, and you do see that one of the people who recently checked it out was Jersey Williams.
Okay. Got it.
He's wondering which student currently has the other ones.
Yeah,
So
that was my thought.
So we can go persuade them to part with it.
It turns out that Jersey Williams was the last person to check out that particular volume. You can see that of the last 3 people on there, you would have noticed one of them was actually like the dean of the college.
Ah. That sounds like fun. Let's go there. We'll bark up that tree for a minute. Definitely, I'll put the book back and I will seek out the dean of said college.
Okay. So yeah, you would go to the administrative wing, and then you would ask the people at the front desk if the dean of the college is, in, and yeah, they'll point you to his office.
Mosey my way down whatever hallway I need to.
Just ankle your way over there.
So you get to a door that it has his nameplate on it. Dean of College is Hank Williams.
Hank Williams.
And well, the door is closed. So how do you approach it?
Knock.
He yells out from behind his desk. You would assume it's open.
All right, then I will walk in.
So he's sort of like looking at you kind of expectantly.
Expectantly?
Yeah,
Well,
like,
knocked on his
what,
door.
yeah.
Oh, no.
What do you want?
My name is Owen Victor. I have recently taken on I work for the Washington Post. I've recently taken on a job that requires me to look up some information in your library, and I see under this encyclopedia you were one of the last few people to take it out. Could I ask you why?
Let's see. Which volume was that?
Whichever one it was.
It says
Volume
36
36.
J-K on it.
The JK volume.
Oh yeah, I was doing a little bit of research um, into. Now I got to think of something that starts with J and K.
Kinesthetics.
Japanese water spirits.
Actually, yeah. That would be close enough. I was looking into Japan because I was thinking about buying some land there, and I was wondering if it was even a sort of a possibility.
Boy, I just get this feeling that Japan isn't gonna be our friend real soon. Just kidding. Um,
Japan seems like a great idea.
Terrible.
I-
Make sure you
I
invest all
hear
your money
that
in Japan before 1940.
I
They've been doing wonderful things lately in conquering Manchuria, and I was thinking, there's a nation that's really going places.
Not
okay.
wrong.
He's not wrong. Um, all right. There's no other reason that you were looking in said encyclopedia.
No, I can't think of anything else.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. I'm glad you had the moment to talk with me, and I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, not at all. I was just sort of, not doing anything important, being the dean of students and all.
Being the dean of the college, I do nothing but sit on my butt in my office.
He was probably drinking.
Yeah, he probably
Happens.
was.
It's prohibition. He was probably drinking.
He looks like he's about like a month away from retiring.
So he literally is doing
Gotcha.
nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quite literally. Okay. So I'll see my way out.
He's
Obviously,
moving
I
to
didn't
Japan
find-
before America screws up our relations with them.
Well, he's
assuming
old
there's
enough. He might not live to see the war.
Assuming there's no way for me to see who is currently in possession of the other 4 call numbers.
No, because those call numbers were not even present in the card library.
Oh, they just weren't even there.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just were not something
They
that
don't
was in.
exist in that library. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't know if it was that you just said they weren't present, so I wasn't sure if you meant that they just weren't
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
they did not have a listing in the card library.
Okay.
In the card file.
So obviously, with my previous knowledge, I will, from there, make my way, probably home to drop off my bike, and then pick up my camera, just because I can, because I'm neat like that, and head to the Library of Congress.
Okay. Chuck. At this point, go ahead and roll another investigating skill of some kind.
Here we go. And just for the hell of it,
There you go.
Hey!
Okay. You notice somebody who's just a little bit out of place. You can't quite put your finger on it. But he's just a little bit out of place.
all right, where is he?
He's kind of in a dark spot in the speakeasy.
Okay, is he at the bar? Is he at a table?
I would say on the opposite end of the speakeasy from the bar. Like, the way that's furthest from where the people would be. He's
Okay.
just sort of edgelording it up over on the side. And that's why he's a little out of place to you. Like, nobody has come up to him. He's just sort of nursing the same gin and tonic that he's been at for, like, well over an hour.
That's actually my spot. So I'm going to walk up and just, hey friend, you've been here for a while, and I've not said anything, but this booth is reserved for me. Could I buy you a drink and have you relocate?
Translocating.
No, it's fine. He kind of trails off, and he gets up a little bit, and then he drops something, but you can't quite see what it is until he's out the door.
It's a grenade.
I'm just kidding. He just took off running.
Not running, but kind of like you didn't. Yeah, you didn't quite see that he dropped anything until he had left the bar.
Okay, I'm gonna pick it up.
All right, you go ahead and do an intelligence check. Okay, you recognize it as a. It is one of the sheets from the back of a book that somebody had checked out from a library, and you also see that it is from the Library of Congress.
Oh shit! Can't be taking pieces out of books from Congress. That's not cool. All right. It's been a quiet day. I'm going to talk to the bar owner and say that, I'm gonna just tell the guy behind the bar that I'm gonna try and track this guy down. And if not, I'll just head to Congress and return this so that we don't bring any undue attention onto ourselves.
And yeah, actually, I think it's probably better if he just dropped the book. It's not just the sheet, but it is a book from the Library of Congress.
Okay.
So yeah, you now have the book that the guy dropped, and yeah, it makes more sense that you would want to return it that way.
Yep. I will start heading towards the Library of Congress.
Okay, and yeah, if you had tried to look for the guy, he was just gone.
Okay. Yeah, the minute I got out of the speakeasy, I was kind of looking up and down the alleys looking for him, but
yeah, he had just vanished without a trace, which, if you had been looking for it, that would have been a little bit odd to you, but you weren't looking for it, so we'll just ignore that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're heading to the Library of Congress. Our other investigators, what are you doing?
Oh, I was heading back to try and run those numbers.
Okay, so you made contact with your police friend.
My partner then, because I mean I do know people in the police, but he's a better liaison. So I probably talked to my partner first, and then he put me in connection with someone. Yeah.
It's gonna take a couple of hours, is what he says. So if you got something else that is you could be using your time for, then you might want to do that.
Guess I could head to the library.
Okay, and then Nick, you were also headed that way?
I was already headed to the library.
I'll tell him to send the information to my office, and then I can pick it up there.
Yeah.
So Margaret will have it for me.
Yeah, it'll be placed on your desk.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll work.
So yeah, you all make your way by various means to the Library of Congress, and coincidentally arrive at mostly the same time. Isn't it nice how that works? Yeah, it's about 3:00 at this time, and you all sort of know each other from previous dealings, and so after a little bit of pleasantries, you can choose to go in.
Nah.
You just kind of look at each other and nod, and then go in. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean I'm not going in. Pleasantries to just walk away.
I completely missed the last part. I'm sorry, I was distracted.
He said after discussing I just said you can choose to walk in. And I said nah, I'm gonna choose not to walk in.
I gotta go see a man about a horse.
Yeah, we'll make our way in.
I'll go in.
Okay.
Actually, though, I did go see a man about a horse on my way there. That's 1920 slang for buying whiskey.
Okay.
You being all topical.
If you want that, I know where to go.
It's a
Yeah, we
place
can
called the Owl Bar.
Just kidding. Place sucks.
Okay, so you guys all head in, and there is a reception desk with like a couple of people working behind it, and then of course, as one of our investigators is already familiar with the Library of Congress, they, you see exactly what you expect to see from the Library of Congress.
Exactly what I'd expect to see. Would I potentially know either of the fine ladies working at the
Pretty
desk?
sure I've been there.
Let's
You ever been
see.
to a giant ass library? Then you've been to the Library of Congress.
Basically, yeah.
I can't remember if we went when I went to DC.
I've been there. I mean, it's really nice
It's
looking.
a
but
giant
it's
library.
a giant ass library.
But does it have the giving tree?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Okay.
It has the entire Harry Potter series. Of course, it
Oh,
has
does
a
it
fucking
really?
giving tree. Yes.
That's awesome.
It's not
What's the
just
library?
like nonfiction stuff. It's a compilation of like every book that they can possibly compile.
I was gonna say, doesn't the Library of Congress basically have everything?
It, as far as I know, it's got probably the most.
If it has an ISBN, I believe it has to be present in the Library of Congress.
Yeah, it's got like the most complete selection of literature of mankind.
Well, that's who you go through if you're copywriting music, if you're copywriting lyrics or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to register with them.
Because they have to have a copy.
It's like $75.
I mean, maybe in the 20s, it might not have been quite as
Comprehensive.
efficient and comprehensive. But nowadays, yeah, they've got everything.
Okay, so
Except for maybe some of the books hidden in the catacombs under the Vatican. They probably don't have copies of all of those.
so yeah, you're at the Library of Congress, and Owen, if you could go ahead and roll me intelligence, and roll it twice. We'll call it advantage.
Good thing you did that.
That's
Yeah.
good.
You do recognize that you know one of the women working behind the desk. Her name is.
What would her name be?
Her name is Lucy, and
Oh my god, I was gonna say Lucy. Guys, I might be psychic.
Quick! What's your psychoanalysis?
What?
No, don't worry about it.
yeah,
Alright.
she's
I
been
will-
working here a very long time. Is what you remember of her.
All right.
I'm gonna
Would
roll
she
7 out of
just?
75 right now.
Would she recognize me?
I'm gonna have to roll for that one.
That's fine. I mean, I do have an appearance of 90.
She kind of looks at you like you're familiar.
All right. I walk up to her and be like, and I'll say, "Hello, Lucy. How are you today?"
Lucy.
She kind of gets that look on her face, like how people look when they think that they're supposed to remember who somebody is, but they're not quite sure.
So I'm pretty obvious that I know she kind of knows who I am, but doesn't quite got it yet.
Yeah, and she doesn't quite want to admit it, so she's just like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Hey, how's
Lucy,
it
I believe
going?
you remember my late wife. Did I even give her a name at this point?
Of course
Alice.
Thought you did.
I believe you remember my wife Alice.
Oh, that's why you were familiar. Owen, was it?
Exactly.
not. Owens Corning, fiberglass insulation.
So what brings you here, Owen?
I have a list of call numbers that I would like to see if are still available in the library today.
Oh, sure. That's obviously easy enough to do. Could you go ahead and list them off for me? And then she takes out a pen and puts it to paper.
Yeah, and I'll just give her the numbers.
It's easy
Okay.
enough to do. I'll just go through the thousands of card catalogs.
Yeah. It'll take her a little bit of time. Probably about like half an hour.
That's okay.
But
I
she'll
will read the
definitely
Giving Tree 7 times.
yeah. She'll definitely at least work at looking them up. And one of the things she can tell you right away is that most of them are from the anthropology section.
Surprise.
So if you wanted to go through the stacks over there and start looking for some of them, you could probably find a few of the titles that you're looking for.
I will specifically look for the one that I've already found.
Okay, that one is actually in reference.
Is in ref. Yeah,
Encyclopedias.
Yeah, that's that encyclopedia. I want to make sure that it's the. I'm assuming it's the same one as in the other library, but
Right.
I'd like to look it up and look at the same passages and see if there's anything. I mean, I'm assuming this guy may or may not have written something in these books, but
Right.
see if there's anything like written in the margins of the one in the Library of Congress.
Right. So yeah, and then does anybody else have anything that they're going to be doing at this time?
I'll take, because I also made a copy of the
Yeah,
list.
I'm sure he has the
And
columns.
so I'll go over to the anthropology section and start looking there.
All right, and are you guys?
So I want to see if there's anyone suspicious around. Nope.
No, nobody.
Not that you notice. No. And so,
I'm going to approach the reception desk and say, hey, somebody left this book outside my
House.
apartment. They dropped it when I said hello to them.
all right, where's the not acting suspicious skill in here?
Oh, please make him roll a charm check, just because.
Yeah,
Charm check.
Do it. Roll a charm check, and it's going to be opposed. It's going to be an opposed check here, so. Even though you rolled a 76, if I roll higher. Actually. Yeah, she kind of just sort of looks at you and shakes her head like, why are you trying to hide it? You know, why are you doing such a bad job of hiding it? But she doesn't care, so she just sort of clucks her tongue and puts it back and thanks you for bringing it back.
Don't you judge me. Don't judge me.
Don't you judge me.
Well, she is an
Work in
older
a
woman.
library.
She's an older woman who works at a library. She might be somebody who's involved in the temperance movement.
Fair enough.
Not to stereotype or anything, but I'm stereotyping.
Not to stereotype, but I'm stereo.
Now, are you guys have you talked with your friend at all?
Which friend?
The
Do I know
bouncer?
You know me a little bit.
I mean, I've probably seen him somewhere.
Didn't we
I mean-
meet once on a yacht?
I mean, obviously. I mean, I've probably seeked him out for information on peoples. Generally, he probably hasn't given me said information, but I keep trying.
He's giving me information.
Depends on who
Not
you're
not
asking
about specific people. Well, yeah, it depends on who you're asking about, I suppose.
You know, he gives me information. That's because we got an understanding.
Charlie, what are you doing here? What are you... I mean, why are you looking up all these books? This seems unusual for your line of clients to be in a library.
What, a guy can't come to the library no more?
You can, but seeing as how that your usual clientele, I don't see them as being the reading type all that often.
Yeah. I'm working a case, a bit bigger than usual.
Bigger, huh?
Yep.
Anything that's gonna come across my doorstep?
I sure hope not.
You
If
and
it gets
me
into
both.
that kind of trouble, it's going to be a lot worse than I'm hoping.
Who's the
I'm looking at a book on the other side of the library. So
who are you looking for? Maybe they came into my office.
You ever hear of a guy named, actually flip open my pad, because obviously I didn't memorize this information. Jersey Williams?
Have I? What do I roll?
Roll a straight up intelligence. Yes, you have.
Yes.
In fact,
I
he
know
is.
who this man is.
He
Extreme
frequently
success.
he frequently visits your bar, and you do recognize him by name. He's kind of a gregarious character, and he likes to flaunt wealth.
Oh,
He's sometimes followed by a little Chinese boy he calls Short Round.
Jersey's gone missing, huh? Well,
That's the long and the short of it.
there's quite a bit of coin in my pocket that will be missing for a while. He comes in often.
Does he now?
Yeah. Yep. 3 days a week. Usually buys rounds for everybody and then disappears.
For months at a time.
Yeah. We won't see him for a while, then all of a sudden he comes in, buys everybody rounds all night. Then week goes by, the same kind of thing, and then he just disappears again for another month.
Let's see. Getting a better picture of what kind of guy this is.
And of course, since you all know who this is modeled after, you know that this is exactly the case.
You could hear the stories this guy tells when he gets a little liquor in him. Crazy adventures, sword fights. Apparently he just had enough of it one day and just shot a guy instead of fighting him with swords.
It's a great scene. Can I just say that?
All because he had diarrhea and he didn't want to do the fight.
Yeah, he was feeling sick and didn't want to do the fight. And apparently the other actor was like really disappointed because they'd been practicing this, and he was a really good martial artist, and they'd been practicing it for a long time.
Greatest scene that just sums up the character.
But Spielberg was like, yes, I love it.
It's disappointing, but you know, nobody would have remembered that scene if it were just a straight up sword fight.
Sword fight. Oh, yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
remembers it because of this.
Yep, it's so perfect. All right.
Okay, so while you guys were talking, Nick was looking through the stacks, and he did come up across the encyclopedia. And you'll need to roll a spot hidden.
That's a bad skill for me.
Yep.
Okay, but of course, since it's Call of Cthulhu, fails don't always mean that you fail, but sometimes it's a little bit different from what you'd expect. And in this case, you notice that a significant portion of the book has had pages ripped from it, which you know to be very unusual in the Library of Congress.
Unusual enough to maybe call someone with a better spot hidden skill attention to it. Cough, cough.
Yeah, I mean, if this page is missing, I'll take. I mean, obviously they don't care if I carry books from one side of the library to the other.
No, and in fact, they'd probably really like it if you brought it to their attention.
So I'll take it over to the anthropology section first.
Okay.
At this point, I will have, at least without giving out anything super specific, because obviously I have to kind of keep some. I will tell him, hey, I'm looking for these call numbers to Jack there, and have him kind of help me look for him if he's willing. So Since he at least has a somewhat of an interest in finding Jersey because he
Yeah,
like him a little bit.
I'm already here.
Yeah.
I've helped out before. I might as well lend a hand if I can.
Right.
Work is slow today, so.
Okay, so for this one, you can use library use or spot hidden or anthropology.
I can use any of them. Oh, I'm
Any of
definitely
them.
spot hidden. Wow.
Ooh, rough day.
Jeez.
Ooh, rough day.
That was a stealth roll though.
Haha!
That wasn't.
Okay, now Call of Cthulhu has a mechanic in it where you can choose to roll again. It's called pushing the roll. Typically, it means that the consequences are a little bit harsher for failure, but there is no consequence for success. The only
You just squint a little harder and you find what you're looking for.
yeah, basically. The only thing is, I believe on a push roll, you don't mark down that you got a success. Which, by the way, if you weren't marking your successes, you might want to look back and see where your successes were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, backing up. Give me a second here.
Lots of intelligence
I
and
just got a straight intelligence roll. Success.
oh, I got a success in the spot hidden. And fighting brawl. And a lot in intelligence.
Spot hidden.
Can we actually mark the straight skills or?
No, the straight skills can only be improved by training them. So you have to declare an intent to train them, and then you have to do an improvement check successfully for 4 weeks in a row. Yeah, it really sucks. Probably at the beginning, I'm gonna cut it down to like 2 successes.
I will push the roll then. So I get to roll spot hidden again.
Mm-hmm.
Ho
Oh,
worth it. I don't get to count that one as a success though. You said so.
Yeah, and chances are you've already succeeded on several spot hidden, so it doesn't
I've
matter.
already gotten 4 of them so far. So.
Yeah. So there's no consequence here if you were to have failed. But basically, the consequence is it takes extra time. In this
that
case.
Makes sense. That makes
Yep.
sense. Yep.
So you find one of the books that you were looking for, and it is the title is in German, and from the maps inside, you see that it deals with the Middle East.
Would I know that Jericho is supposed to have been in the Middle East? I mean, that's kind of common knowledge, but
Yeah, and actually, if you have a language other specialty, you can roll it to see if you understand any of the German.
I do not.
Okay.
I'm only 80% adept at English.
Well, that's not bad.
So
No.
am I.
Oh, you cut out there.
Did you unplug your headphones?
I did on accident.
You cut out there for a second. So.
I did.
Okay. Anyways, all right. So I don't recognize that, but I'm assuming I can, especially with my knowledge that it's about like Jericho and stuff. I can assume okay, this is related to that. So.
Yeah, you definitely. It's definitely something that looks in line with all of the other things that have led up to this point.
Okay. I will keep hold of that one and keep looking for the others then.
Yep, there's still 3 other books that you guys have yet to find.
what was the title of the book I found? I would have looked at the title, if not flipped through it at all.
What book did you find again?
The guy dropped a book that.
No, he dropped a page.
Oh. No, he
we
dropped the
decided
book.
he dropped the
I retconned it.
Oh,
He dropped the
you
book.
retconned
The book was called Remnants of Lost Empires.
Okay.
Have we verified the call number of said book?
You have not.
Because he gave it back to the other receptionist.
Ah.
But he did mention it to me, I'm assuming, right?
Well, yeah, I told you why I mean,
Yeah.
if you ask me why I'm here.
Well, I'm assuming we were chatting while we looked for books, so can we just kind of retcon and say that I asked him why I was here and he mentioned that? So that could be a detail that maybe we would check on into later. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it right this second, but...
Yeah, you can say that the reason. Yeah, he did tell you the reason that he was here, and you did see him give the book over at the reception desk.
Okay. So maybe if we don't find one of the ones we're looking for, we can see if it was that one.
I had gone to once out of the library. I'll stop by and ask Lucy if she's had any luck on my way across the library.
Yeah, she basically, she holds up Remnants of Lost Empires, and she says, yeah, somebody just returned this book, and it happened to be one of the books that you were looking for.
All right, I will.
Well, how about that?
I'll borrow it from her and make my way over to the anthropology section.
Okay. So, are you going to take a look at this book while you kind of walk your way over?
The Empires, yes.
Okay. Do you have an other language skill?
I do not.
Okay, so roll a D100, and the chance of success on this one is about 2%.
What? Ouch.
You have to roll a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, basically.
I understand that. Nope.
So yeah, what you can tell is that it is in German.
Okay.
The one I found, can I flip through it to see if there's any marks, notations, missing pages, etc.?
Yeah, you can flip through it and it'll be a spot hidden. Okay, so I'm gonna draw it right on the map. You do notice in a couple of places, in like a red pen, like a dark red pen, you notice a symbol that looks like that.
Oh, it's the Jesus fish.
You're the Jesus fish.
Your mom's the Jesus fish.
Not really.
Now, do you
I didn't
choose
know what she does.
do you choose to point this out to anybody?
I'm with you.
Yeah, he's with me, so I'll probably point it out to him.
Okay.
But I'll wait to point it out to anyone else just yet.
Okay. So then there's 2 books left on the sheet that have not been found by anybody.
Yep. Shall I keep looking?
I'll help you look.
I mean, if I'm getting there, I will bring to Charlie's attention.
Hey,
This book has things missing.
All right.
Okay.
So while Jack keeps looking and has apparently found one of them, I'm gonna investigate the book that Owen just brought to me.
All right, and coincidentally enough, both of you now recognize this symbol in each of the books that you are looking at. The one that was just found, not the one that was brought back, the one that was just found is an English tome on like Germanic cults.
What?
Germanic cults. And
Okay.
it actually shows the rune with 2 small additions. This is supposed to be a diamond. It's really hard to draw with the mouse.
That's okay, I understand.
But yeah,
it
shows...
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the map.
I see it there.
Yeah, you see it. You see that in the Book of Old Germanic Cults, and it is also present in on the cover of Remnants of Lost Empires, like on the binding on the spine.
Okay. I'm gonna draw it in my notebook.
All right.
And oh,
Yeah. And also, if you'd like to spend a little bit of time, you can actually read the relevant section in that book.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say next. Since that book's
Yeah, I mean, we're still looking for the other two, so one of us might as well read it.
yeah, I'll read through that now that I'm finding this because that immediately is of interest to me.
My spot hidden roll was to try and find one of the other books.
Yeah, he said you found the one. That was the one that was about the runes, the cults. Yep.
Okay, so it details that the symbolism of the rune is the Elder Futhark Odal rune, also known as the Othala rune. It represents the O sound. It's Proto-Germanic, and it has significance with a cult of the region that believes that the lineage of the Aryan race is like more noble or more supreme than other races, and it is commonly associated with a goddess of fertility as well. Now, if somebody wants to do an education check, they might be able to glean a little bit more. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, this is a symbol that is associated with a movement known as the National Socialist Party in Germany. It looks very similar to one of the symbols that is also representative of their party.
Nazis.
It's Nazis.
Fucking Nazis.
Bitches.
You can't have Indiana Jones without Nazis.
Like the Nazis.
They tried that with Russia.
It's the Nazis, wasn't it? No. Bet you I'm right. Bet you you're wrong. Bet you you're a bitch. I'm gonna bet you you're a skank.
I bet you're a skank.
Bet you you're an asshole. Bitch, I hate people.
Bitch, I hate people.
I need to go back and rewatch that again.
You can't. They're not on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, I know they got pulled off. It's
Every single abridged thing they ever made has been pulled off of YouTube for copyright reasons.
did they lose that?
I don't. Well,
lawsuit?
I don't know if they've lost, if the litigation's still going on, but it's down while that's happening at the very least.
Well, that was a while ago, so I was hoping
it's all still down. Well, no, they even said that they probably aren't going to be able to fight it, so they don't even know if it's worth trying.
Well, they're still doing DBZ abridged, so.
No, they're not.
No,
Yeah,
they're
they
not.
just won a couple. Not that long ago.
I was all down just a few weeks ago. Still.
Yeah, episode 58 came out 1 month ago.
Yeah, it was a month ago.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I can access it now.
Yeah, everything's back up.
Okay, so they must have sorted that out then. Cool.
That's nice.
All right, I'm going to have everybody do a listen check.
Ain't nobody got time for that. What is my listen?
You've all
Let's find out.
You've all been in here long enough that you might have heard something.
Oh my god, I succeeded with a listen of 20!
Everybody succeeded.
You did succeed on a listen of.
I got a hard success.
So did I.
I just
Okay,
got a normal success, but my listen is 20, so I am very proud of that.
So the normal success means that you do hear, you hear coughing from a place where coughing probably should not be coming from, and you also hear the noise of wind, like you hear a whooshing sound. The hard successes. The hard successes also additionally, you hear footsteps on a surface that is not the same as that present in the library.
So it's different than like the tile floor.
Yes, and you can narrow it down to a specific section of the archaeology wing.
Okay.
Well, shall we investigate?
That's my assumption.
I'm somewhat paranoid, so I'm immediately going to be interested in what's going on there.
I have no real care about this, but I'll follow you guys for the time being because I've got nothing.
All right. Well, you two that were able to pinpoint the direction, point me that way, and I'll.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm gonna head in that direction.
So it was coming from about 2 shelves away. It appears to be an internal wall, but if you look around the corner, you see that the wall is just a bit thicker than you would expect for a wall to be in this area.
Neat. That seems strange.
I'm investigating the wall.
Okay, yeah, you're looking at the wall and you notice that it is, you actually come up to it and tap on it, and you notice that it's hollow.
Well, what do we have here?
Nope.
The Library of Congress.
Damn it! I really need to improve the spot hidden check.
X marks the spot. There's a catacomb with a knight under here. Wait, what? Sorry.
Yeah, and actually, now that you mentioned that, when you look on the floor, you see some scrape marks that look suspicious.
Suspicious.
Well, there's only one conclusion.
Nazis.
There is a phantom roaming the halls and dragging a heavy chair. No. Okay. Well then, do I need to do another? I mean, I did that spot hidden to investigate the wall. Did I notice? That's all I noticed, or?
Yeah,
No mechanism I can find?
it isn't obvious from looking at the wall or looking at the floor exactly what the mechanism is. So you'll have to be a little bit more specific on what you're looking for.
What is on the wall?
What's on the wall, there is a shelf that goes up to 7 or 8 feet. And then a little bit higher than that, it's just kind of a normal, just normal wall up until about like 12 feet,
But
where you have the.
It's a bookshelf then. That's going up
Yeah.
that high.
Yeah, there's a bookshelf sort of covering the.
I'm going to
lower portion of the
methodically
wall.
start tilting each and every single book.
But say, can I use my library use skill to see if there's any book that seems out of the ordinary?
Actually,
Yeah, go ahead and roll that one. You absolutely see.
Screw that.
You absolutely see a book that it like all the other books are dusty, except for one that looks like it was recently pulled out of the shelf. And it opens up, and there's a staircase leading down.
Neat. Bum bum bum.
Well, gents, looks like we're finding some interesting details here. I am going to.
So, okay.
Is it
would we
dark
have
down the
made
stairs,
any,
or are
like-
there lights?
Does any of this make any excessive noise to the point where we would have drawn attention to ourselves?
No, it's all comically masked by the tasks that the receptionists are doing, just like in Last Crusade.
The bookshelf sliding did make a bit of a scraping sound on the ground. And you now see, having opened the bookshelf, that that is what the nature of the scraping came from. It was like a semicircle that was extending out from the opening of the bookshelf.
Is it dark down this staircase, or is it lit?
It's lit dimly. You can see the entirety of the staircase until it takes a 90-degree turn at the bottom, and then it starts to get fairly dark.
All right,
But it's lighter than you would expect for like
a dark
something
passage.
that.
I am going to put my hand in my pocket and
Cast light on a stone.
wrap it around the butt of an item that is in my pocket, and then with my hand still in my pocket, descend down the stairs slowly.
And would that item in your pocket happen to be your pistol?
It may or may not be a 38 revolver. Yes.
Okay. We're going to just go ahead and assume that it's a pistol.
Yes, it is. I have my hand wrapped around my gun in my pocket just in case. Because I'm automatically suspicious of people, especially when they start acting suspicious, such as using a hidden walkway.
Okay, so you're proceeding down the stairs?
I'm gonna immediately proceed down the stairs because I now know that there was someone doing something that they probably shouldn't have been doing here.
Yeah, and I'm not 2 steps behind him.
Yeah, I'm right behind him. I'm gonna slip my brass knuckles on, just in case.
Okay.
We might want to leave someone behind in case to either keep it, to either be able to reopen it for us and or.
I just take a book and I put it on the bottom so that it, like, in between the wall.
And the bookcase, so it can't. Okay, it's either. I guess if it still closes and cuts the book in half, then we know this thing's operating on incredible force.
Well, my assumption is that anybody that comes down here has a way to get back out.
Well, yeah, but.
But
I make sure it's a copy of War and Peace, if that was written. Yeah.
How about the
It
Communist
was.
Manifesto? When was that written? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that was out before the beginning of World War One. I want to say it was 18 something or other.
War and Peace was 1869 in its entirety.
Communist Manifesto was written in 1847. So.
Yeah.
It was the Communist Manifesto.
Okay, so you're descending the staircase, and you hit that landing where it turns 90 degrees to the right. And you can see a little bit further into the room. There's nobody in there, but it does the lighting is flickering like it's lit from candles, but you can't quite see them. So you can assume that they're like around the corner or they're in sconces or something.
Okay.
And you also see what looks like a lectern with like a fairly thick, either it's a book or a stone tablet. You can't quite be sure.
All right. I'm gonna pull my gun all the way out of my pocket now,
All right.
and I'm going to very slowly peek in, kind of step into and peek into the room a bit more.
All right. Now that you've got a better look at the room, you can see that there are bookshelves lining the walls, and the books are on some of the bindings. You can see runes. You can see the same rune that you made note of earlier in a couple of places, but you also see other runes like. Let me draw this one out. And then you also see some imagery that you can associate with the KKK.
White supremacists.
So we found the racist section of the Library of Congress.
Every good library has a racist section.
You also see this room is fairly nicely decorated. It's got some curtains covering certain bookshelves, and then there's a series of chairs sort of set up facing the lectern. And now that you can get a closer look on the lectern, you see that it is in fact a book.
All right. I want to investigate that book.
Okay.
Actually, no. First,
Wait, did we?
can I use my track skill? Because we heard footsteps and stuff. Can I use my track skill to see if I can see any obvious signs that someone was just here?
You absolutely can.
Hard success.
Yes, in fact, you see an unnatural movement in a few of the curtains that lead you to believe that somebody has just exited the room via a doorway towards the rear of the lectern.
All right. Well, then with the suspect detail, that immediately takes my interest. This person is trying to evade us. We can investigate this stuff later. I'm gonna go try and follow them. So I'm gonna head to that door.
Okay. The door is slightly closed. What do you do?
I'm going to pull it open. Not like slam it open or anything. Just kind of pull it open slowly, cautiously.
Yeah, it opens away from you slightly, and
Okay.
something pushes it back towards you. It's going to be an opposed strength check.
Ooh.
So roll your strength check, and then I will roll a strength check to oppose it.
Yeah.
All right, it doesn't do any damage to you,
Okay.
but the door does shut.
All right. So the minute I see that, can I run up and
Shoulder into the door, please.
shoulder check the door?
Yeah, and Charlie, are you going to also attempt to shoulder in with him?
Yeah, we'll do it together.
Okay, so both of you go ahead and roll that strength check.
Ha! Ha!
Ah,
This
All
door
right.
is going down.
Yeah, you take the door off its hinges, and a very surprised person wearing it looks like the robes of a KKK member. He just sort of falls back on his ass.
All right. I'm going to immediately grab him and make sure he's subdued.
Okay, for that, you're gonna need to make a fighting check, fighting brawl.
Oh, yep. I'm so good at that. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
all right. I'm the muscle. Let me do that.
All right. Because
I'm
I still,
just-
I still have a gun in hand, so yeah.
I don't. I'm gonna push Charlie out of the way and just pick this guy up.
Tackle him.
Tackle him, just pick him up and slam him against the wall.
All right, and it's an opposed roll.
Holy
So,
crap!
you don't quite get him. He takes to his feet slightly faster than you were expecting, and he bangs you in the chin. No damage bonus for this guy, so I need to brush up on the combat rules.
This guy does see that I have a gun, right?
No, he doesn't at this point.
Oh, well, he's gonna find out very soon.
What's your dexterity, Chuck?
50.
Okay. So both of these things are going to happen at the same time. I need to remember what the damage roll is for fighting.
Unarmed is 1d3
Bare knuckle boxing.
plus DB, whatever DB is.
Damage bonus, and that's right in the middle. You get a
Ragged
damage bonus if your strength plus size is greater than 125. So in your case, that probably does get a damage bonus.
No, I'm at 120.
Aim at 110. I get the speed bonus though because
Okay,
of my
so yeah,
dexterity.
we each roll a d3 and then take that much damage.
I don't get either of those bonuses.
No, I have my brass knuckles, so do I get my +1 because I had equipped
Yeah.
those?
So you take 1 point of damage, and he takes 4 points of damage.
Oh. I mean, I don't know how many hit points this guy has, but I have 11, so 4 points of damage is a lot
Yeah.
of damage.
Yeah.
He's quite hurt.
He
You
broke
know, I
something.
need to go to...
You broke something.
So I take 1, he takes 4.
Yeah. And then I need to check and see if that does anything specific.
Knocks him unconscious.
It very well could, because it is a significant amount of damage. And of course, since this is the first combat, we have to figure it out here.
Yep, it's cool. We were prepared for learning.
Ow.
At least I was.
Ugh.
Hi, buddy. What are you doing?
I hate to say it, but I'm kind of dying.
I died once.
Your mom died once.
Success.
Not quite.
So, how does succeeding give you 3 damage and failing give you 4 damage?
Well, the damage is a separate roll.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is? Okay.
Yeah, he just clicked it to do the for the damage. The
I'm
fail,
just- What
the
happens?
fail would have been the hit.
I was wondering if hard increases the damage you get, or what's the point of rolling a hard?
Hard means, like, if it were a hard check, then it would succeed. Hard is basically half, doing better than half of your skill.
Yeah, I know. I just was wondering if maybe it.
I think it does actually, like, add damage, but I need to check.
I would assume like either extra damage or a more precise hit, or things like that. Like if I'm shooting my gun, if I get a hard, like a normal one, I maybe hit him in the arm, graze him, or whatever for a couple damage. If I get like a hard, I much more effectively hit him, kind of thing.
Okay, so right now we're gonna say that yeah, he's knocked back on his ass. And let's see. He has nowhere to run. The room has no other exits, so he kind of scrambles back up against the wall.
All right. Oh, 1 second.
Well, I'm just gonna say,
Do you have the book right handy, Doc?
Yeah, it's right in my hands here.
Page 60. Should give you the rules for knocking out a character.
Page 60.
Unless I'm looking at the wrong. It also might be the wrong edition of the book, too.
Yeah, page 60 is in the skills page. What section of the book are you looking in? Is
I
it
just have a
in
reference
combat?
sheet, is all it says.
Oh, okay.
must be for an
Actually,
older edition.
I might have one pulled up for this edition.
Buddy, be careful. That's a gun you're sniffing.
Yeah, let's see.
I should have taken intimidate instead of persuade.
Okay, yeah. Shock happens when character loses half or more of their current hit points. So he doesn't go into shock, but he is stunned. So. Okay. Yeah, he's stunned hard.
Well, good. I'm gonna grab him by the shirt of his scruff, and
Shirt of a scruff.
yeah, it's an inside joke that I guess doesn't make sense here. I don't know why I still use it. But yeah, and I'm gonna basically say, "Who are you? What is this place?" Hope that he's stunned enough to kind of not just respond, but
you'll need to roll an intimidate on that one.
Oh, I just barely missed too.
Okay. He is going to volunteer the information. This is the meeting place of the KKK.
Neat.
Really? It's interesting. Because I don't like the KKK.
So you sympathize with the other side then, huh?
There are no sides, friend. Pal.
That's
buddy.
where you're wrong. Either you're with us or you're against us. And right now,
Well-
you're obviously against us.
Well, I guess I am. And you don't want to piss me off now, do you?
Well, right now, I guess I'm not feeling too good to try anything more. So, what do what do you want with me? Why did you chase me down here?
Why did we chase him down here, Goose?
I didn't chase him.
Ow.
No, I mean I did. I don't know. We could always ask him if he knows anything about the thing and the guy that's missing.
I'm gonna run on an assumption here. That he was eavesdropping on us. And so I'm gonna run on that assumption and hope that I'm right. And I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna ask him, why were you eavesdropping on us? I ain't dropping no eaves, no sir, I ain't been dropping no eaves.
Well, you guys were spending an awful lot of time looking into books that are very relevant to us, and well, I figured you guys had it out for us, and I'm still figuring that way.
Is that what you thought about Jersey Williams too?
At the mention of his name, he kind of goes a little bit wide-eyed, and he's like, "Jersey Williams, did he send you?"
Yes.
So, yeah, he's getting a little bit more scared, even. He kind of nervously looks to one side and looks to the other, and then he kind of spits out a little bit of blood, because he took quite a hit there. And, you can see that his face is starting to swell just a little bit where he got banged up. And, yeah, you're waving your piece around. He's still quite nervous, and he's like, "Look, we don't want any trouble with Jersey. He can, we gave him everything that we knew, and he can go his own way. We don't want him back here."
Well, that's why he sent me. He wasn't sure everything you told him was true. I'm here to follow up.
I can assure you that everything we told him was completely true. The way that he left us, we weren't in a position to deceive him.
Well, even so, let's make sure the facts match up. Why don't you tell me everything you told him?
All right. So he's gonna go into detail, basically about what they know about the Horn of Jericho. It is an artifact of power that was It was given to the Jewish people, supposedly by God, and it was a trumpet or a flute of some sort that, and an actual artifact that, when played, let out a great amount of energy and shook the earth until the walls of Jericho fell. And its last known location was in Algeria.
Alrighty.
He's also going to mention that the Germans have a great interest in finding these artifacts of power, and they're probably a month away from being able to find it.
Rough days.
Man, he's really in the know on how the Germans are doing finding this stuff. He must know exactly where it's at and exactly where they're looking to know that they're a month away. No, I'm just kidding. All right. At this point, I'll put my gun away.
If you were to do another check of some sort, you could probably press him for a little bit more information than what he's given you, because he's still giving shifty eyes like he's holding out on you.
Okay, maybe I won't put my gun away just yet then. My intimidate sucks, so
What about your psychology?
my psychology's okay. Yeah, I guess I'll roll a psychology to see if I think he's holding out on me. I don't. Though you kind of already told me I assumed he was, so I don't know if that's gonna. But I need Chuck here to help me question him, but he walked away again.
Yeah, I'll wait for him to get back, and then
I don't know if he has a
reiterate.
better intimidate than me or not. But it
Yeah.
would
I
probably be
mean,
better.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I didn't barge in this door that they pushed in. I'm not a confrontation kind of person.
Yeah, we're kind of, you know, that's why I said, like, I already said that, like, I handle the unsavory tasks. I'm a little bit more of a rush right into things kind of guy than my partner is.
I'm gonna take a look at this book that's sitting on a nice tap thing in the middle of the room.
Yeah, let him do that while we're waiting for Chuck.
All right. It turns out that there's a big book and then a smaller book that you wouldn't have been able to see from the back end of the lectern, which is where you came in. From the front end, you see that there's a smaller book, and you see the smaller book is written in English, and the bigger book is written in German.
Neat. What does the English book say?
The English book mentions a cult of Shub-Niggurath. Just right on it. Just cult of Shub-Niggurath. And then it has very detailed meeting notes. None of which is actually relevant to the investigation, but it gives you the sense that these white supremacists are actually also members of the cult of Shub-Niggurath.
Got it. This nice German book, is it like fancy schmancy leather bound, or is it just
Yes.
a book?
It is fancy leather bound, and let's see. Go ahead and do an own language check.
An
Because
own language.
Yeah, you don't have.
I don't
Okay.
know English very well.
No, you know English just fine, but you could not. Trace the English. You couldn't trace the English back to the German. Like you couldn't quite connect the German to the present day English that would be nearby.
I'm still gonna take this book with me.
Okay. Let me check and see if that's got a name so that I can mark it down in my notes. Because it very well could be a named book. I haven't actually named this book. I just knew it would be a book of significance.
A book of significance.
It
See, because-
may or may not have a picture like that in it.
Is this a picture of a penis?
Oh yeah, it's a picture of a penis.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of immature people in cults.
So yeah,
I wasn't actually saying anything serious with that. I was just.
you go ahead and you take that book. It doesn't have any markings that it would be owned by this library.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a fairly hefty and reasonably old book. It looks to have come from like the 1800s, so it's about 100 years old.
Got it. Taking it with me.
I'll just take one of these flags and I'll just go ahead and note that one.
Is there something? Can I teach myself something new? Some new skill? Work on some skill?
Yeah, you can declare that you're going to be working on skills in your free time.
I'm gonna learn how to read German.
Well, if we're going to be dealing with Germans,
It could be useful. It could be not useful because you can actually you could, if you wanted to, seek out a translator to translate some of these texts for you.
translators are for scrubs.
I'm still gonna learn German.
Okay, so yeah, that's learning a new skill is basically the same sort of thing as learning or like training up a course stat. With the exception of for the first one, you are insured at least some level of success.
Okay.
So yeah, that ends up taking like about a month before you
That's
can
okay.
improve.
Just wanted to officially try to learn German.
And of course, while you're training something like that, you can't be training on another one because that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand.
Okay. So now that Chuck's back, do you want to press and see if this guy is still holding out on you?
He's giving you shifty eyes.
Yeah, he's
Alright,
been given
so,
shifty eyes.
Sorry, guys. The little guy is having a rough night. So, what did I miss?
What you missed that your character would be aware of is that the cultist spilled his guts, or the KKK guy spilled his guts. Told you about the Horn of Jericho, the fact that it is an actual artifact that exists in the world, and its last known location was Algeria.
And he's looking an awful lot to the left.
Yeah, he's pretty shifty.
Okay. I'm just gonna give him a good wallop to the gut.
Please don't kill him. He's already coughing up blood. Shit.
And he has just passed out.
Oh shit.
Stop punching him with the brass knuckle.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks.
Hey, we can now take him someplace a little more easier to work in.
I'm gonna investigate this little room.
Okay, in the room you see a lot more of the same runes that you're seeing everywhere else, but it's fairly tidy. It kind of looks like it's a changing room. You see cloaks, you see robes, and you do see a desk, but there's nothing on it or in it. So really, you found basically the room that the judge goes into to put on their judge robes, except in this case it's the KKK.
Huh.
What do they judge?
Racism.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, straight up, is it racist? Yes, then good for you.
No, that's where they put on their robes.
It's just a changing room.
No, I know. I just
Yeah.
Was thinking about
And
a courtroom filled with KKK members and like what kind of cases go through a court like that.
do we lynch the guy? Yes.
Always. That's all that
Yeah.
happens all day.
Yep. So, you pretty much, I'll just flat out say it, you pretty much cleaned this place out for clues.
Neat. I got the book. They
I
don't know
can't
I
hear
took
you.
the book.
Nick, if you, or not Nick, Cameron, if you said anything, we couldn't hear you.
I'm just gonna leave the guy here.
Okay.
But because I'm like, if the others come back and they find him, they're like, oh my gosh, what happens? He's just gonna be like, Jersey Williams sent somebody, he kicked the shit out of me.
Yeah, he didn't get your names. He might have gotten a description of you guys, but, you know, who knows if he'll remember after passing out.
Average man in a trench coat and hat waving a gun around. Although I do have a scar on my face, so that's a fairly distinguishing feature. But
A man with scar on face.
That's about it.
anyways, yeah. So we'll head out, and
I never even walked into the room.
I'm going to. I don't like racists, so I'm just gonna take all of the robes I can find and throw them in a pile. And Charlie, could I borrow a match?
I don't carry matches.
Could I borrow your lighter? Or a cigarette? I'll take a cigarette.
Yeah. I don't give my lighter to anyone, but I'll pull out 2 cigarettes, light them both, hand you one, and then start smoking the other one.
And I'm just gonna toss it on the pile of
All right, before you do that, you're going to need to do a sanity check.
oh man. Where is
You're being anti-racist in the 1920s.
Okay, because you
I don't-
succeeded, you will take a second guess on this one and decide not to do it because of the nature of you're in the Library of Congress and there's a huge like everything is flammable. What are you even doing? And so you decide against it.
In my defense, all he did was ask me for a cigarette.
Yeah,
I
no.
take a drag and just consider my options.
My
See,
guy's
that-
not a racist, but he's not really. He doesn't really care if people dislike people. He doesn't like the KKK though because they murder people.
Yeah.
One of the great mechanics about Call of Cthulhu is that yes, you can stop people from doing things that are absolutely derailing if it is against something that a sane person would do.
Well, what about once we go insane?
Until we get too far into
That's
this
when
game.
it gets fun. That's when it gets fun. So
Then I'm
like
just gonna give him a good kick in the knee. and
He's
walk
already.
away.
You're gonna kill this guy. You've
yeah,
done
he is
somebody.
damage to him. He's probably inches from death.
He passed out.
I will say he is within a D3 of dying.
All right, you can't kill somebody by kicking them in the knee.
Can.
You might if you roll 3 on a D3.
You might. You might be the first.
Fine, I'm walking away.
You might cause a clot to
Internal
form in his
hemorrhaging.
knee that then travels all the way up to his brain while he's asleep, and he has a stroke and dies.
Yeah, didn't I just point you to the link about deep vein thrombosis? Come on, this is life and death here.
Kicking people in the knee. I was alive until I took a foot to the knee.
Dang it, I was gonna say something like that. All right, yeah. So let's
All right, let's
leave. Has anyone noticed anything? Like they come find the book propping open the entranceway?
No,
Did the
nobody
entranceway
has.
close in any way, shape, or form?
It turns out that 3 o'clock is like a really unpopular time to be in the anthropology section of the Library of Congress. So you did not get noticed at all during this part.
Well, I'm gonna leave the door wide open,
With arms wide open.
and I'm gonna go up and. Is there a phone at the receptionist's desk?
Yeah. There
I'm
is
gonna
a
ask
phone behind the receptionist desk.
I'm gonna ask if I can borrow their phone.
Go ahead and charm or fast talk or something.
Just persuade. I'm gonna be like, "Hi, police business. Can I borrow your phone? Or I work in a case. Can I borrow your phone?" Something to that effect.
Police business.
Yep. She goes ahead and says, "Yep, just come behind here and go ahead and take a call. Make
I
your
do
call."
have. I do have like a private investigator's badge and stuff, so I could have easily done
Yeah.
that. Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna call up the police station and let them know about a cult of potentially dangerous people that are hidden underneath the Library of Congress.
Uh, yeah. Okay. You make a call and they
Probably specifically to one of the police officers that I know, preferably. But obviously, I don't have as good of connections with them as some people would. So.
Okay, so you call to a specific investigator
precinct
that
or
you're,
whatever,
yeah.
investigator, yep.
All right, so then, as is per procedure, they're going to ask for a name to go with the report.
Like my name?
Yeah.
Well, this is a guy that I know, right? So he already knows my name. Or is this not someone that I'm not super familiar with then?
Since you didn't clarify, we'll say like middling, like they wouldn't necessarily recognize you over the phone.
Okay. Because I'm worried that this cult might have penetrated the police, I'm gonna say my name's Jersey Williams.
Okay, so they'll take down that and they say, yeah, we'll check it out. Thanks for letting us know, Mr. Williams.
Mm-hmm. I may have just caused problems for Mr. Williams, but I'm okay
You
with that.
may have caused problems for all of us. Trying to find Jersey Williams.
He's already in deep shit at this point, anyways. So, and from what I've learned at this point, he's a guy that can freaking handle himself. So.
Well, yeah, but now you may have just caused a lot of problems.
All right, I will have said Tony. I'll say Tony Curtis instead of Jersey Williams. How about that?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Curtis.
Okay. There we go.
Because straight up, like the rest of the game, we have the KKK literally looking for us.
But they wouldn't be looking for us. They'd be looking for Jersey Williams.
Yeah, and we're walking around saying, "Hey, we're looking for Jersey Williams."
I'm not walking around saying that. Are you? Because that's stupid. Stupid news reporter. Come on. I've been a PI for like this many.
This many.
Okay, so it's getting on about 4 o'clock now, and you've pretty much found everything except for one book in the library, and you also uncovered a den of KKK members.
Yeah. At this point, I'm gonna say,
I mean,
I'm fairly confident now that Jersey Williams went to Algeria. But obviously, if we're gonna try and follow him there, that's gonna take at least a small amount of preparation.
You would probably want to.
Yep. So we should maybe continue to investigate with any extra information we have, such as these phone numbers that I had someone looking at for me. So I'm gonna head back to my office. I'm gonna be relaying this to them. I'm gonna head back to my office and see if they got back up with the information for me yet.
I'm going to head back to the college.
And do some spelunking.
There's another mechanic that I want to introduce before we call this.
Okay.
But I need to remember what that's called and what page it's on. So, you're headed back to your office, Cameron?
Yes.
And how about you, Nick?
I'm headed back to the college to find someone to help me figure out what the hell's in this book.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell. I mean, for Jack, if you're interested in helping me on this case now, I could definitely use your help. Obviously, you demonstrated that I need you. If there's going to be confrontations like this, so I'm willing to cut him in if he wants to help me out. So he can come with me to my office. If you're willing. Obviously, we've worked together in the past.
I mean,
and I'm looking for Jersey Williams. So I mean,
if you're gonna be in some dust-ups like this, I mean, who's employing you to find Jersey? Who's searching for him?
I guess at this point you're involved. It's the government.
Oh. Well, okay. I mean, you're talking about going to Algeria. Yeah, I guess someone's got to watch your back. I'll tag along. If we're talking about going on a plane trip, you think the government might be able to foot that bill?
Oh, I'm willing to bet we can probably work something out.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll follow you to your office.
Okay.
I got nothing.
I do know how to contact this Secret Service agent, right?
Yeah, you
phone number or
you did get his business card.
Okay, perfect.
It was included with the materials that he handed out, the dossier.
Which I still have in my possession. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Good enough. I will. So yeah, we'll head back to the office, see what information we can find out.
And while he's getting phone call stuff, I'm just gonna go through the dossier so I'm up to speed on everything.
Yeah, and then also in case Owen didn't already have it, I'm gonna give him the number for my office so he can contact us. I'm assuming he probably might have already had my number because we have worked together occasionally.
Yeah, at some point.
But just in case, I remind him of it or whatever, or give him my card because I'm sure I have business cards.
Okay, so the mechanic that I was going to introduce, but good enough, Cameron actually brought up the fact that you could contact the Secret Service guy, but if you hadn't figured that one out on your own, I would have asked you guys to do an idea roll. And basically what that is, it's a straight intelligence check, but it's done sort of on a gradient. Where like if it's a clue that was fairly obvious that you should already have but you don't have it, the idea roll will reveal it on a mild success. And if it's like a more obscure clue that you guys missed, then you can get that with a hard success.
Cool.
So yeah, at any point you guys can
like
ask.
Being able to contact him would have been a fairly.
So at any
mild
point,
success.
if we feel like we're kind of stuck or there's something we're missing, we can say, "Hey, can I do an idea roll?"
Exactly, and it's just a straight up intelligence roll, and depending on the success you get, I will have to either reveal to you something that is either you already know or you should have known.
Okay, cool.
And then a hard success is like, I'm gonna
something we could have missed, but we definitely could have come across in what we were
exactly. It's like maybe you just have a wild memory where it's like, hey, wait a second, maybe it was significant that the map on the wall.
Yeah. Okay.
For instance.
Although at this point, the significance of the map on the wall, Algeria was marked, and they now told us Algeria. So that gives me two reasons to believe Algeria is the correct place to go.
Yeah, and if you wanted to. If you wanted to do an idea roll right now, I could spill out for you exactly what the map was. If you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll do one just so we can
hard
that. Yep.
Okay, so basically the map on the wall was all of the ports of call that he was going to stop over in.
Okay.
He was planning his route.
Yeah, places he thought it might have been. So.
Yeah, the final pin.
That, but I put that kind of together. So.
Yeah. The final pin was in Algiers, so you can be fairly certain that he would, you would be able to find him there.
or at least find of his whereabouts there.
Yep. So the last few things to wrap up before we call it. You get your information back on those phone numbers.
Okay.
One of them was for the Owl Bar.
Okay.
One of them was for the Library of Congress, and one of them was for the travel agency that he booked out of.
Perfect. So that wasn't actually anything super important, but it would have been potentially been another way to find out, hey, he's gone abroad.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Good enough. Nothing super of importance there, but still worth following up on.
Yep,
Because-
and now you have the number to a travel agency that can get you to Algiers.
Algeria.
So perfect.
And then the other one was when you're contacting the Secret Service guy, he does let you know that the United States will pay for your travel expenses.
Yeah, and obviously I'll update him on what we've discovered at this point. Is that we're pretty sure he's gone to Algeria. And I will also mention to the Secret Service agent about the cult and the KKK guys we found based in the Library of Congress. Not so much necessarily that because they might be dangerous, but also because they are meeting underneath a government facility, and that might be of some concern to the government.
And he's
they're not
actually,
gonna-
yeah, he's actually going to tell you they were aware of this, and the problem is that the leader is one of the senators.
Oops. Well, good thing I didn't give my real name to the cops. Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's that kind of town.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, if the police investigate, they'll either get bribed off, or maybe something bad will happen, and the senator will not be reelected.
Yep, and if you were to choose to share this information with your journalist friend, then perhaps you'd have something sensational for the tabloid.
Hi.
Do you want an article for the tabloid? He was pretty much there.
I would love some articles for my
Yeah,
tabloid.
I mean, I'm gonna give. We're working together at this point, so I'm gonna give him all of my information. So yeah, if you want to write a tabloid, just
Sounds
be careful that you were worried about them chasing us. That's a good way to get them chasing us. So
You might want to write that one under an assumed name.
I'm assuming that all of my tabloids are under an assumed name.
Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis.
That can be our assumed name that we share.
Okay.
So yeah, you know, that basically is everything that I have prepared for today.
Fun.
This is fun.
I got to wave my gun in a guy's face.
Yeah, and unfortunately, combat in Call of Cthulhu is really, really like it can go really badly, really quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had to fire a bullet yet, and I have an 80 in firearms handguns. So
Yeah.
someone getting shot eventually.
I have a handgun because I feel like I should have a handgun because my skill's at 20. So this is gonna be bad.
I actually have
though.
2 handguns, and I'm probably going to pack my shotgun as well.
How are you gonna get a shotgun to Algeria?
In my suitcase. This is before the TSA, Goose.
No, is it before the entire TSA?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know when the TSA.
There were not security checks in the 20s. You paid for a ticket, you got on a plane, and you left.
Yeah, pretty much.
You maybe paid a little extra to make sure that no cop in the area was looking at you. But
I don't even think that. I think
I don't
honestly,
think- yeah.
you just
I mean, maybe during wartime or something, depending on where you were going, there might be a little bit more scrutiny. But this is not during wartime, and if we're just going to Algeria or Morocco or whatever like that, and that, I mean,
are we going
you're
to
a
Algeria
journalist.
or Algeria? And is there a difference?
You said Algeria the first time, or is it supposed to be Algiers?
It is Algiers. I would have misspoken
Okay,
if I said Algeria.
All right, I will change that to Algiers.
I'm actually trying to take notes this time.
Oh,
you're going to want
Most
to.
of the notes you guys have taken, I haven't even been in the room for. So
I've got freaking like 16 note cards
I have a
in
book.
front of me because I'm organizing the notes into different categories.
It's the only thing I don't like about this character sheet is they don't give you a place for like notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely don't. You're gonna want a notebook.
You
Yeah.
said Algiers.
Hmm?
You said Algiers.
I know I did.
I'm confirming.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you check the record or something?
She must have overheard me.
I heard Algeria, but it's entirely possible I misheard too. So yeah, I'm not.
I heard Algeria as well.
So
I mean, to be fair, Algeria is the country that Algiers is in.
that's true.
Yeah.
So both were equally accurate.
That's true.
One was more specific.
One, yeah, well, yeah. There's the specific, and there's the general. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it was? Is you probably said Algiers the first time, but then you did say Algeria, because when we were talking to the cultists, because the artifact was there. The artifact isn't necessarily in the city; it's in Algeria. So
That might have been the distinction.
so that might have been part of the reason I got confused. Yep.
But yeah, definitely Algiers would be the city that you would want to start.
Yeah, that would be the place he would have flown into and or traveled into. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, basically, yeah, we started in DC, but we are not going to stay there.
Cool. I was hoping so.
I figured so.
Well, good. My office is going to be less important as a spot we can go and rest in.
Yeah, although right now, since you are in a place where you can rest, that means you get to do all of your improvement checks.
Ooh.
All
Okay, so
right.
how do-
does that work again?
So any skill that you had a success for, you should have checked at some point during. And then every one of those skills, you just make a straight up skill check. If you succeed, you get to improve it by 1d10.
All right. So here we go. Me spot hidden. Boom.
So you get to improve that by a d10.
Man, these can level up fast.
Yeah, and once you reach a certain point, it becomes a lot more difficult to level up.
Yeah.
Woo. Spot hidden is now at 85.
Or wait, am I thinking wrong? I think you have to fail it actually, in order to level
That
up.
would make sense.
Yeah.
Because like that just means it exponentially means you increase at
Yeah.
exponentially out of control.
We'll allow you to increase that spot hidden because I screwed that up, and spot hidden is a very valuable skill for somebody to have.
Okay.
So I'll
I mean, it
allow
only
it.
takes me up to 85,
Yeah.
so it's not out of the realm of what I would
I'll
have
allow
implemented
it.
anyways.
I'll allow it, and I'll in fact give each of you 5 bonus points that you can spread wherever. Just because I made a mistake here.
Well, I basically got them in spot hidden there, so I'll let the other guys put them wherever. All right, so I have to fail the listen one to be able to increase it.
Yes.
Nope. I've rolled 2 listen checks. It's one of my worst skills that I did.
You
that I
heard
invested in. Yeah.
the crickets.
So that one doesn't.
You might want to put that 5 into listen rather than spot hidden. Sorry.
You're being very loud.
It's tough. I've got these noise headphones.
I will do that.
All
right.
I'm a lot louder than I need to be.
And I will do persuade. And nope, don't get to increase that one either. Dang. Now all of a sudden I'm rolling like amazingly good. I mean, persuade's a 60, so it's.
You guys have all been rolling really well tonight.
I
Aside
rolled
from my
shitty the
psychology,
whole
which I
time,
do every single time.
except for like
You're
2.
you're the good charm and stuff.
Yes, I failed spot hidden.
So a d10.
Slasher, 1d10.
3.
Now it's at 48.
Every point counts.
It's 100% true. I failed that. Which one was it that I
Yes.
failed earlier? The intimidation one by 3
You failed
points.
a couple by 2 points.
increasing all your skills.
To 45. Fighting. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not really a surprise there, yeah.
That will be a really tough one to.
Fast talk. Damn.
Cha-cha-cha, delicious.
Yeah, faster would have been nice. I would have liked for my spot hidden and listen to have both gone up naturally, because that would have been really nice. But
Talking to the cat.
I see.
with spot hidden at 80, it's gonna be somewhat different. That's okay though.
Time to check to see if I pass a single psychology roll.
When I get lucky with other random ones, I'll be able to.
Nope.
I don't know. I only made like 2 different types of rolls other than straight rolls.
Spot hidden, listen, and persuade. Yeah, that's all I did. I mean, I failed a couple of psychology ones, so I didn't get to do that one, and then I think I failed one other. I failed that intimidate, which would have been nice to get, but it's gonna be hard for me to increase intimidate.
Oh wait, did we ever figure out what those ripped pages out of that book was?
I investigated the book, but he didn't specify anything.
Yeah, I don't think you got to figure that part out.
Okay. I thought I had said that I brought it over and asked Charlie what he thought about the ripped pages, but I must have.
Well, you did. I investigated it, but we just called out the symbols,
Oh, okay.
and then we heard the noise, and then kind of went from there. So.
Got distracted.
Although we turned all the books back in, I'm sure you probably told them, hey, someone ripped the pages out of this book, but that we might not have realized the significance of the pages.
Yeah, I think you failed the check that would have allowed you to know which pages specifically were torn.
Well, I know I did. But
Yeah.
are you all set, Chuck?
Yep. I'm good to go.
All right, and anyone want to declare what they're going to be training? Other than you're going to be training German.
Yes.
I'd like to train my size.
Can you? I mean,
I'm gonna get swole.
get swole.
Let me see here. I think I'm in good shape with most of my skills.
I
So-
hard passed both of my tests, which is upsetting.
I'll try and train my strength. Just do some weightlifting and stuff.
Sure.
Push it.
I would like to train my dexterity.
Do I need to mark down my strengths anywhere?
Uh,
Or are you doing it?
You can write it down just to remember about it, because you will be asked at the end of each week to fail a roll on that.
Okay.
And if you fail 2 times successfully the first time, that's when I'll allow an improvement on it. And then every subsequent time it's going to be 4 times. And I think I'll make it cumulative rather than like successively. Like you have to fail 4 in a row.
I gotcha. Yeah, because that would be really hard to do.
Yeah.
Cumulative at least means it might take you, 6 weeks when you can technically do it in 4 or whatever.
Right.
But if it's successive, then it's potentially going to take you 30 until you get 4 in a row.
Yeah, so y'all not bad for your first day on the job.
No, it's fun. It's interesting.
Yeah, I liked it. All right. Guess that's gonna be it for me.
Yep, that'll be that.
All right.
Bye
Have a good
bye,
night,
everybody.
guys.